It was my pleasure to listen to the other panelists, and in fact to the entire event so far. It has been really interesting and rich, and thank you very much to The Economist for organizing it. The Council of Europe is, as I'm sure all of you know, Europe's intergovernmental watchdog for democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. And thank you, John, for reminding that the UK is a founding member of the Council of Europe, because it's a pan-European organization. It's still a member, and hopefully wisdom will prevail and the UK will remain a leading and important state in the Council of Europe in these uncertain times for democracy and human rights. The Council of Europe takes a very broad, holistic view, I would say, of sport integrity, both thematically and as far as the level of is concerned. We speak of integrity of people, integrity of competitions, and integrity of institutions, and we have built tools to address them all. Following the rise of illicit drug use in sport in the 60s, we have started setting standards in anti-doping that led to the adoption of the Council of Europe's Anti-Doping Convention, which was the first international legal instrument of its kind, and which has a strong monitoring mechanism to ensure that states respect their obligations, their anti-doping commitments, and we also participate in WADA on behalf of public authorities. After the Hazel Stadium disaster in Belgium in '85, the Council of Europe adopted another international treaty to combat spectator violence, which later evolved into the Saint-Denis Convention on integrated safety, security, and service approach at football matches and other sport events. There hasn't been much talk about violence in stadiums at this event, but it's for us is a really important agenda, and we're promoting a new approach to it, which is less focused on security and policing and much more a bit in the spirit of what the speaker from Barcelona spoke today on creating a much more holistic environment in stadiums that and more mixed demographically and oriented towards service, so that violence is naturally prevented. And finally, in light of the rising number of match manipulation scandals, we have adopted about 10 years ago the Macolin Convention. And I just note that George Mavrotas, who is the president of the Macolin Committee, will speak later today. And the Macolin Convention is an instrument that is really helping to build collaborative platforms between sport actors and law enforcement institutions nationally and also internationally, in order to help monitor match fixing through international betting, corruption associated with it, in fact, even organized crime phenomena that are connected to match fixing, and collaboratively to help build strategies locally and internationally to protect the fairness in sport, and also to help combat organized crime. So for us, this is a real win-win. Takis Baltakos earlier spoke that it's difficult for prosecutors to prosecute match fixing and corruption in sport. Prosecutors indeed have difficult choices to make because organized and other serious crime in society is a priority, and also because evidence is so difficult to obtain. But today in sport, through betting and TV rights, etc., there's enormous amount of money, as we all know, and the field attracts organized crime. So the interplay between sport and organized crime, it's really regrettable. It's harmful for both society and sport. And if there are no safeguards and strategies to protect sport, we risk destroying it. So our work through the Macolin Convention, through monitoring, exchange of information, experience, and expertise, and also through a network of prosecutors and judges that we have just set up, is trying to help all those involved actors that are trying to combat match-fixing corruption in sport to succeed in this very difficult area. And this work also serves human rights, because sports persons, coaches, referees, and others that that are involved, and sometimes they have committed one offense, then they fall prey to extortion and to threats with far-reaching consequences. Especially young people are very vulnerable, young players in junior teams. This phenomenon is really growing, and we are very, very concerned. There's other instruments for the Council of Europe, enlarged partial agreement on sport, the European Sports Charter, which is a policy development instrument, and also different other monitoring mechanisms of the Council of Europe against human trafficking. Human trafficking is also a real big problem in sport from an integrity point of view. So the Council of Europe is quite equipped from the public policy perspective to deal with sport integrity. And while this is not very easy, because sport is, we know about sport autonomy, and we have to find the right tone and the right level with which to communicate and to cooperate with sport actors, it is very, very important that governments take their responsibilities seriously, and that put all their means, both financial but also legal, in place so that sport can be helped.